Hey everyone, it's Melody with Design by Melody. I am here with a layout. I feel like it's been a while since I've been here with a layout. I have been scrapbooking, but things have just been so crazy around my house and in my life that I just have not had a chance to sit down and do some voiceovers and video editing. So I am off work today, and so I am doing some massive just committed time to working on my videos, and I'm really excited about it because I've had all these layouts piling up and I don't put them away until I have done my videos on them. And I really like when I put my videos or my layouts away because I flip through my albums. So I am actually working with my stash kit number 3 for 2017. This is the 5th layout that I'm using with this kit. And I was thinking about it the other day. I don't know if there's going to be a 4th stash kit this year or not, because I still have a good amount in this stash kit. Plus, I'm always constantly working through other kits as well. So I'm really not sure. There might be a 4th one for this year, but I just don't know. I haven't worked through that yet. So this is a 12 by 12 layout, and it is titled My Little Boy, and I do add a caption later, but that's not really the title. That's not really part of the title, but it's one 4 by 6 photo of Kaylin and I, and then I'm using this bright green background, and it is actually the backside of a cut apart sheet that was in that Family Ties collection. So this kit, if you missed me putting it together, I'll link that video in the description box below. But this kit is very Project Life heavy. I included one paper collection, but it had just about every page had a cut apart on the back side. And then I included a ton of Project Life cards. Not Project Life branded, but Project Life styled cards, I should say. And so I did that because I had a lot of photos printed for Project Life pages and not as many photos printed for 12 by 12 layouts. However, as I've continued to work with this kit, I've printed more photos, and I've also found older photos that I wanted to scrapbook as well. So I have adapted this kit to continue to work with my Project Life pages, but also to use for 12 by 12 layouts. So it's been a good mixture. It wasn't how I intended or how I created this kit. I really thought it was going to be solely for Project Life pages for the most part. I figured there would be a 12 by 12 layout here and there, but I thought it was really going to be Project Life pages for the most part, and I'm happily surprised that it's working with 12 by 12 layouts more so than I had expected. I also feel though I am on, this is the 5th layout, I feel like the kit is just as large as it was when I created it. So there are a ton of supplies still available for me to use. It's not lacking in supplies. So I will continue to work with this kit for a little bit. I'm using these freckled fawn letters to make my title, and so my original title was just going to be My Boy, and I end up changing it to My Little Boy. Now these puffy alphas are not sticky at all, so I do reinforce those with some glue. I'm not going to make you watch that whole process, but I do reinforce it just some with with some Tombow Mono multi glue. I like to use that as my wet glue of choice, and so I just kind of reinforce this. As you can see, I'm moving the letters around no problem. I'm using these Kaisercraft Tiny Alphas in black to do the middle word, and it just says little, and that's where I just reinforce those letters as well. So it says My Little Boy, and then I am going to do a caption under that with the small Kaisercraft white Tiny Alphas, and it's just going to say In His Beautiful Mind. So the title is really My Little Boy, and then under that it says In His Beautiful Mind, but that will be added later. You won't see that yet. That's kind of an afterthought as I was working through this. So this layout is fairly simple. There are a lot of little details, but it's not a very busy looking layout. I felt like the background page itself was more busy than I originally intended, so I didn't want to add too much on top of that because I felt like it would just be a little too much for the eye whenever you're looking at the layout. Now my journaling kind of ties in with the background paper, not so drastically that you would notice, but as I was creating it, it kind of work together. So my journaling says, I absolutely love watching him grow and learn every day. And then the background paper has these vines. So it just kind of made me think of like growing up and all of that. In this picture, and I did not put this in the journaling, but in this picture, he's explaining something to me. He's telling me some sort of story. And that's why I'm looking at him so intently. And he's like drawing it out on the table with his hand, or with his finger. So that's why my journaling just says, I absolutely love watching him grow and learn every day. It's kind of a simple journaling. There's the back of that page where you can see all those cut aparts. There you go. So my color scheme is really this lime green in the background. I don't include any other green at all in the layout other than the background. And then I'm using kind of different tones of pink as well as black and white to offset that really bright green background there. Now I'm kind of thinking, okay, this is the base of my layout. Now what else do I want to do? So I wanted to keep it fairly simple, as I mentioned. So I am actually going to do some hand stitching around the outside of the layout. I've created these two little banners at the bottom. Oh, I just realized looking at my layout, I have lost an embellishment, and I know exactly where it is. I found it the other day on the floor upstairs in my craft room, and it didn't occur to me till just now where it came from. So I need to go back and include that back on this layout. There's a rubber embellishment that was on this layout that looks like it has fallen off. So I'll go back and add that. It's in the photos though at the end, so you'll see it, but I will fix that before I put it in my album. So I do struggle with adhering rubber embellishments down, so I think I'm actually going to go back and staple it down now that I think about it, because it has fallen off already. So I'm pulling out, so since I have the middle of my title and that those little black tiny alphas, I want to add a few little black embellishments around the page. I don't want it too stark and drastic, nothing really big and bold, but just these little elements. I'm going to use these little black rhinestones that I'm going to set off to the side, and I'm also going to use this really small Doodlebug Design mini paperclip in black. I think it's called Beetle Black is what the name of that one is, I believe. And then I am going to use one little word strip in black as well, just to kind of tie in a few little pops of black around the layout without it being quite so bold and drastic as I mentioned. I am pulling out a sticker here from the sticker sheet. It's just a little heart. It looks like string art actually, but it's a heart. And it's going to be right next to, I cannot decide where I want it at all, as you can see. I have tried everywhere. And it's going to end up landing on this banner here at the bottom. And I'm also going to include that rubber embellishment, as I had mentioned, which I will pull out here in just a moment. And then the heart will butt up right next to it. I'm going to use this little small this little small tag to put my journaling on. So what you didn't see, and I kind of stopped the camera for this because I knew it was going to be a quite time-intensive process, I have a little bucket of all of these die cuts, and what I did is I went through the bucket. It has blue and different tones of pink in there, because that's kind of how this kit was created, with a lot of blues and pinks. I went through that die cut package. See, there's the rubber embellishment that has fallen off, so I will go back and add that in. I went through that die cut little bucket, and I pulled out all of the ones in the pink tones that I was looking for. I didn't want the hot pink or the real bright pink. I wanted more of the salmon-y pink as well as the paler pink. So just to kind of coordinate with that large play everyday ticket at the bottom that I had cut into a banner. So I made my little pile of embellishments, and now I'm actually sorting through those embellishments to see what I want to add on to this layout. So I cut out the part where I'm sorting the embellishments out of the little bucket into the colors I'm looking for, but I am showing you where I'm going through the colors that were sorted out, that coordinated, and then I'm kind of determining what's going to go on this layout and what's not going to go on this layout. So I'm just creating little piles of places I think that it could work. And then I'll pare those down and actually determine what goes in each section. I like scrapbooking this way. I like having a variety of things to sift through. I'm very much a sifter. I like having options. But then funny enough, I'm actually probably more on the simplistic side, to where I don't add quite so many of those things to my layout. I'm definitely not a real heavy embellisher. There are definitely people who are, and I think it's lovely. But whenever I do it, I feel like it's just too much. So I go with what I think works for my eye, and then I'm okay with it. I think it looks good in the end. So I'm taking this love banner, and I'm just cutting a banner end on the other side. It was more of a, like something you would staple on the side, but I'm creating a banner on both sides and kind of evening it up there. And it just says love, and it has a heart. It's going to go right up here at the top of the photo. And then I'm going to start working on some of my other clusters. There's my Together rubber embellishment, and I used my tape runner, and obviously that was not the best option to use. So I will go back and probably use some wet adhesive or staple it, as I mentioned. I moved my little heart up there to the top, trying to figure out where I want it to go. And again, as I mentioned, it will move. It's not going to stay up there at the top. But I thought about it for a good moment. But it's going to change, and I'm going to end up putting that rubber heart that's right there to the right side of my layout. That's actually going to go up here next to my journaling. Just like that. There you go. And then this other one's going to move down here. And that's how that looks at the bottom. So I'm going to add my journaling. And as I mentioned, it just says, I absolutely love watching him grow and learn every day. I think it's amazing. If you have a child, you probably know exactly, or have like a younger sibling that you watch grow up or whatnot, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. It is absolutely amazing. Kaylin is 6 right now, and I swear every single day it seems like he learns something new, and he is so fascinated with learning. He comes home and he tells me, Mama, guess what? And he'll tell me something, and it absolutely amazes me. And he also does, things like sometimes he'll go, Mama, because he calls me Mama, that's not right. It's this, da-da-da-da-da. So he'll tell me whatever it is that he's learned. And it just amazes me. I know I'm not even seeing half of the things he's learning. But as he shows me the different things that he's learned, it just absolutely amazes me. I'm like blown away by the amount of knowledge that his little brain is absorbing each and every day. So I think it's fascinating. He's also learning Spanish and, well, he already knows English, but learning how to read in English. He knows how to read. He's just continuing to grow his ability and skill. But now he's starting to learn Spanish as well. He knows a decent amount of Spanish. He's not quite fluent, but he's getting there. He's in a Spanish immersion program at school, so he's getting there. He's been in it for a year now. He's a lot more confident at school. He won't talk so much at home because I know some Spanish, but I'm definitely not fluent myself. I took enough of it in high school and college though that I probably should be, but I'm not, because I was not the best studier with that type of stuff. So, he knows a lot more than I do, but, I think speaking Spanish at school is a safe zone for them. So, but whenever he comes home, I don't know if he's afraid that he'll be embarrassed or whatnot, but he just doesn't speak it a whole lot at home. But it just absolutely amazes me that when I do see him speaking Spanish at school or with a classmate or his teacher, I'm just like blown away. Like, I cannot believe how much he has learned in a year, and it just blows my mind. It really does. But anyways, that's a really long tangent there, but that's kind of the basis for this layout. And this instant wasn't about how much he's learned or what he's learned or anything like that. It's just the fact that he sits there and he tells me, and he is happy that he's learning, and he's so involved in the story he's telling me, and I just think it's amazing to watch that. So that's what I'm capturing in this layout. So I'm pretty sure I'm almost done with this layout. I'm just going to go back through, and this is where I'm going to add a few little bits. I feel like it needs just a little bit more black on the layout. So I'm going to find a word strip that says, find joy in the ordinary, and I'm going to layer it right under the love banner here. I'm just going to cut it apart though. And it's going to kind of mimic the word little right in between my boy, just to kind of give another strip of the black right there on the layout as well. And then I'm also going to add my tiny little subtitle, I suppose is what you would call it, under the My Little Boy. And it's going to say, in his beautiful mind. And I've got beautiful in caps. And you will be able to see that in the close-ups. It's very difficult to see right here. You could see that I'm putting something down, but you can't really see what I'm putting down. But like I said, you will see that in the close-ups, and you'll be able to see exactly what it says. And I just put that directly on the background page. It's not on the pink at all. It's on the green on the background. And then once I finish that up, that will actually be the end of this layout. I was trying to figure out the placing, but as you can see, it says, and his beautiful mind with an apostrophe, with the exclamation point. And that is it for this layout. Thank you all for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll be back soon with another layout. All right, guys. Thank you. Bye.